Hello students, today we are going to continue with the first chapter, crop production and management. This is our fourth lecture. Hope you have done with your first, second and third part very well, and I think everyone has their books also, isn't it? So today we are going to continue with this our fourth lecture, that is first we will see irrigation. Irrigation means what? A living being needs water to live, isn't it? Even we people, even we human beings also require water to survive. Water is important for the proper growth and development of flowers, fruits, and seeds of plants. Isn't it? Only human beings require the water? No. Here, water is important for whom? For the growth and the development of what? Of plants also, of flowers, for fruits, for seeds of plants, even animals also. Even animals also require water to survive, isn't it? So, water is absorbed by the plant roots, right? Along with that, along with this water, minerals and fertilizers are also absorbed. Understood or not? Along with this water, what is absorbed along with that? Minerals and fertilizers. Plants contain nearly, can you tell anyone how much percent of water is there in these plants? 90%, right? Plants contain nearly 90% of water. Water is essential because germination of seeds does not take place under dry condition. Understood? Water is essential. Why it is essential? Because the germination of seeds does not take place in dry conditions. Understood? So here we require the nutrients which is dissolving in this water. You can see how the water is there, and in that water what is present? There is a mineral and fertilizers. And this, when this minerals, means this nutrients, when dissolves in water, they there the formations of there the germinations of seeds take place. But the germination of seeds, it will does not take place if it is dry. Okay, so your nutrient which is dissolved in water are transported to each part of the plant. They are transported to each part of the plants. You can see how this water, here you can see the water is there, right? So this water which is present here, that is absorbed, means that is transport or transfer this water to each part of the plants. Okay, so water will protect the crop from both frost and canals, right? Means both frost and that hot air currents. Now, to maintain the moisture of the soil, to maintain the moisture of the soil for healthy crop growth, what they have to do? Fields have to be water regularly. You can see here this farmer is watering the field. How he is watering the field? Why it is necessary? Why? Because to maintain the moisture of the soil for healthy crop growth, fields have to be watered regularly. No, use in a small garden also, right? We used to put water, we used to give water to our plants, isn't it? Gives or not? Yes. So here we are supplying of water to crops, right? The supply of water to crops at regular intervals, that is what we called as a irrigation. That is what we called as a irrigations. Understood or not? What is irrigation? The supply of water to crops at regular intervals is called irrigations. So the what we called as the time and frequency of irrigation varies from crop to crop, season to season, and soil to soil. Understood? So here the pictures of this wells, this is what, that is a sources of irrigations. It is what the sources of irrigations are. You can see here wells, lake, dam, tube well, pond, river, and canal. This all is what? Sources of irrigations. Understood? So here we have seen what are the sources of irrigation. That is well, lake, dam, tube well, pond, river, and canal. Understood? So now we will see what are the traditional methods of irrigations. So here we are going to see the traditional method of irrigations. The water available in wells, lakes and canals is lifted up by different methods in different regions for taking it to the fields. There are different methods to lift up those water by different methods to the different regions, right? Why we are taking this? To so that we can take those water to the field. Understood? So the water available in wells takes uh, in wells, lakes and canals is lifted up by different methods in different regions for taking the, you can see here how this uh, moat and then chain pump, this all are what the traditional methods to take lift up the water by different methods. Daily, you can see all this pictures, moat, that is pulley system, chain pump, then Dekli, Rahat, that is your lever system. These are all the methods which water can be lifted up by different ways to the different regions. Understood? So here we can see that this cattle or human labor is used in this method. So these methods are cheaper but less efficient. They are very cheaper but very less efficient is them. So the various traditional ways are moat, as we have seen here, moat, chain pump, then Dekli, that and Rahat. Yes, isn't it? So these pumps are commonly used for lifting water. What is the use of pump? Pumps used for what? Lifting water. So diesel, biogas, electricity and solar energy is used to run these pumps. They are used to, this all things are used to run these pumps. So diesels, biogas, electricity and solar energy is used to run this pump. Next method is that this cattle or human beings, that's why they are using this method. So this methods, as you know that this method is very cheaper, but it having a very less efficiency, isn't it? So this pump is as I told you, pumps, why we using the pumps? Pumps are used for what? Lifting water. So in that we used what? what we use for this to run this pump? We use diesel, biogas, electricity and solar energy to use is used to run this pumps. Next we are going to see that modern methods of irrigation. Modern method of irrigations help us to use water economically, right? This modern methods of irrigation help us to use water economically. The main methods used, that is sprinkler system. You can see here the sprinkler system, how the water is getting sprinkled over there, right? So this system is more useful on the uneven land where sufficient water is not available. This sprinkler system, what are the uses of it? That the system is more useful, right, on the uneven land where sufficient water is not available. Understood? So they are using this type of method, that is sprinkler system. Here this perpendicular lines means this perpendicular pipes you can see here. These pipes having rotating nozzles on top. They having a rotating nozzles on the top, and they are joined to the main pipeline at regular intervals. So what happens when water they have, see, you can see here this nozzle is there, that is fitted on the top of that rotating nozzles will be fitted on the top, and this main pipe means you can see this main pipe is present over there, that is joined with this nozzle tops, right? So when the water is allowed it to flow through the main pipe under pressure with the help of this pump, it escapes from the rotating nozzles. What will happen it here when this water is allowed it to flow through this main pipe? Understood? You can see here when the water is allowed it to flow from this main pipe under pressure with the help of this pump, right? With the help of it escapes from the rotating nozzles. Okay, so it gets sprinkled on the crop as if it is raining. जैसे हम बारिश होती है, राइट, वैसे ही ये पानी it will flow or it will sprinkle over the on the crop as it is raining. So this sprinkler is very useful for what? For sandy soil. Okay, for the sandy soil. There sandy soil mein what can you grow? You can grow coffee plantations and several other crops are there which you can grow there. Okay, so this pipe they are sprinkling over here. You can see here how the picture, that's here the water is sprinkled over the crops. Next method is drip system. You can see here the picture, drip system, how the picture is there. See, this water is getting drop by drop, drip drip drip, you know, drop by drop the pani girta hai, that we called as a drip system. Okay, so in this system the water falls drop by drop directly near the roots. You can see ये roots के अंदर they are dropping down directly to these roots, so it is called drip system, right? So this is called as a drip system, and it is the best technique for watering fruit plants, gardens and trees. You can see it is very good method. This is drip system that where you can directly water your plants to the directly to the roots. Understood? So water is not wasted at all here. It is a boon in regions where availability of water is full. Understood? So these are the two methods, sprinkler system and the drip system. In sprinkler system what we did, we used to with the main pipe, it is connected to the nozzle, right? And then they are the water is sprinkled on the crops wherever the water is not there. Okay, and drip system, directly you can put the water into the roots by drop by drop. Next is protection from weeds. Right, protection from weeds means if we see carefully the wheat field, we see that there are some other plants grown along with them. You can see the how the other plants are grown along with this your wheat field. जहाँ पे आपने लगाया उसके अलावा, जो आपने लगाया उसके अलावा भी कुछ plants आते, मीन्स if it is grown over there, that is what protection words is. In that time, what we have to do in a field, many other undesirable, you can see this plant, look at this plant and see this the farmer what he is doing there, right? In a field, many other undesirable plants may grow naturally along with the crop. We are not putting anything over there. We are not putting the crops also, seeds also to grow that plant, but naturally it is growing. So these undesirable plants are called weeds, right? So these undesirable plants we call, that is called as a weeds. We are not planting any plants over there. So जो naturally plants, the naturally the plants which we that which there is growing, that is what we called as a weeds. So the removal of weeds is called weeding. When we remove this unwanted plants from here, that unwanted plant is what, weeds. And when we remove that, that too is called as a weeding. Okay, this is done with the help of a kurpi. You can see this is what we called as a kurpi. ये क्या है, kurpi. The removing of weeds with the help of what, with the help of a kurpi. So weeds are also controlled by using certain chemicals called weedicides. You can see here weedicide, how this farmer is putting this chemicals to the field, right? So this type of controlling by certain chemicals we called as a weedicides. These are sprayed in the fields to kill the weeds, so they do not damage the crops. They will just kill the unwanted germs over there, whichever is present. By spraying this type of chemicals, it will kill the weeds, जो unwanted plants होने वाले, it will kill those plants, but they will do not damage the crops what we have. Suppose this field is of wheat field, right? So wheat field ही grow करेगा, it will not grow unwanted plants. Understood? So this spraying of weedicide, you can see here the how this farmer is spraying here. You can see now. So the spraying of weedicides may affect the health of farmers. So that's why this farmer has tried, just like what we are doing right now. Because of this corona, we have to wear the mask, isn't it? We are wearing masks, those. That's why we are not coming to a school also. So here, this weedicide, when they spray to the field, the farmer also has to take care of himself. So he is wearing those masks so that he can protect himself from those chemicals, right? So they should use these chemicals very carefully while using. It is not very, it is not a simple job, just spray the chemicals, just put the seeds, it will be grown very easily. It is not a easy work. The farmer has to work very hard behind such fields, right? So they should use these chemicals very carefully. They should cover their nose and mouth with a piece of cloth during spraying of these chemicals, right? What, as I told you, because of the corona, we are also using the masks before we go from our house when we go out, right? So same things the farmers also have to do. While they are spraying the chemicals, they have to close their cover their nose and mouth with a piece of cloth also, right? While they are while they are spraying this chemicals. Understood? So students, today we have learned what are irrigations, right? What are the sources of irrigations? Sources of irrigations in, that is, wells, right? Lakes, ponds, then so, well, ponds, canals, these all are the sources of irrigations. Then what we learn, that water is very important for the growth and development, not only for the human beings, it is for the flowers, fruits and seeds also. Then how to maintain the irrigations, right? How what are the uh, steps to maintain the healthy crops and all, right? We, for that we have to water the field regularly. The supply, what are the definition of irrigations? The supply of water to crops at regular intervals, that is what we called as a irrigations. And the time and frequency of irrigation varies from what? Crop to crop, soil to soil and season to season. Then what we learn? We learn the traditional methods of irrigations. In that, what we learned, that by the water which is available in wells and lakes and canals, how they are lifted? They are lifted by the different methods and in a different regions, right? I have shown you before, there is a different ways that the water can be lifted up by different methods are in a different regions, right? So in the cattle or human labor is used for this methods, right? But it is, these methods are cheaper but very less efficient also is there. What are they? You can see that moat, that is pulley system, chain pump, then Dakely and Rahat, that is lever system. So here the pumps which we are using, that is for what? Lifting water. And here the diesels, biogas, electricity and solar energy is used for what purpose? To run this all pumps. Understood? Then we learned the modern methods of irrigations. First was the sprinkler system. In that system, what it is very useful, right? But it is on the, it means uneven land where the sufficient water is not available, there it is, this system is very useful. And then the perpendicular pipes having rotating noses and all, that we have learned in this chapter. Understood? Then the second system is that drip system. In drip system, what is that? Water will fall directly, drop by drop, near the root. So that is what we call as a drip system, and this is the best technique for watering fruit plants, gardens and trees, right? Because in this, what happens? Water will not get wasted, right? So this was to what we call a modern methods. That was the rohat, moat, rahat, and this all was what? That was a traditional methods. Understood? Then we have learned that how the seeds, means weeds, this weeds is harming to the other crops. So for that, to remove the weeds, what we did the with the help of this Scoopy, we removed all the unwanted weeds, right? From the uproot we have removed out. That system is called as a weedicides, right? Means removing the seeds is called weeding. And while this by spraying this weedicide, we can remove or we can kill the weeds without damaging the crops, right? Then we have did that how this farmers used to close or cover their nose and mouth to, so that they cannot, so that they don't get affected by those chemicals which are sprayed over the field, right? So they have to take care for themselves also. like I had told you, coronavirus, right? We have given an example for the coronavirus. The same things the farmer also have to protect themselves from this harmful chemicals, so they used to cover their nose and mouth with the help of this cloth while when they are spraying the chemicals. So students, today we did this much. Today we are going to do this much only. In the next lecture we will do the harvesting system, how the harvesting is done, in that threshing and winnowing, what are the those terms called as in this harvester, right? So we will learn these things in the next lecture. Till then you have to go through whatever we have did right now. Okay, so students, do this very well, and question answers and all we will give you in the last of this chapter. Okay, till then, take care. Thank you.